Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about Donald Trump's unsurprising but very volatile and inflammatory continuing campaign against Judge Tanya Chutkan. So, remember, just in the hearing at the end of last week, Judge Chutkan admonishes him, says you have abridged First Amendment rights, and now that you're a criminal defendant, you can't pollute the jury pool. You can't do anything to intimidate witnesses. What did Trump do just last night after midnight, where I'm talking to you on Monday? He sends out a social tweet about Chutkan herself, attacking her and saying, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan obviously wants me behind bars. Very biased and unfair. And he also cites a colloquy that she had with one of the marauders on January 6th, where she chastised him for being loyal to one person, Trump, rather than to the Constitution. And that's the kind of sort of stern talking to that many defendants have received in many different courts in the D.C. District Court. Chutkan and many of her colleagues. She added there, however, is blind loyalty to one person who, by the way, remains free to this day. So Trump will try to make hay with this to say she wants him behind bars. She's saying it's, unfair that he's there and the like. All right, we have talked about this and what's going to happen. He has, after the hearing, he wasn't there, of course, but his lawyers were, and she was quite plain that he can't do anything to, among other things, pollute the jury pool. If you accuse a judge of being biased, that really is exactly what you're doing. You're calling the whole case, and he's done the same, of course, with Jack Smith, who brought the case, calling him repeatedly deranged and the like. So how does Chutkan respond? On the one hand, these provocations are going to continue. Calling her unfair and biased would be completely mind-boggling for any other defendant. For Trump, it's kind of a cup of tea, nothing too out of the ordinary for what he would do in a given afternoon. But look at the position he puts her in. Does she immediately bring the hammer down because she wants him not to get out of the box at all with this? Or does she let 2 or 3 or 4 of these things pass, emboldening him all the more and waiting for things for the temperature to raise even more? Does it matter, perhaps, that this attack is against her personally? Makes it a little bit harder for her to come down like thunder, as if, she doesn't want to appear that she herself is at all thin-skinned. Now, there's a hearing coming up on the 28th. She can wait for that. That's an important hearing, and we've talked about it. That's when she is going to set a schedule. And she has said before that if Trump makes attacks that in any way are incendiary, it might push her to speed up the trial. It's a little bit of a non sequitur to me, and could give rise to an issue on appeal. But there is, I've looked into it, there's some case law for saying when a defendant is acting in a kind of dangerous way, one legitimate step for a court to take is to make the trial happen more quickly. So that's one thing that he's looking at, and he's surely not encouraging her to have a later rather than earlier trial. But this, there is probably more to come, and she knows it, about witnesses and about the process. And by the way, it's hard to know how it factors in, but he's doing this all over the country. The most vicious is about Fani Willis, who is poised to ask for an indictment, a sprawling one of him and many other co-defendants this week, and he's made vile, racist, repugnant, defamatory tweets about her. So he is a defendant amok and out of control. But it's incredibly cheeky that just a couple days after this, he does this personal attack on Chutkan. Now, she has potential leverage through the lawyers who really can't afford to be, brazen and ignoring the decorum and the importance for a fair trial the way he can. And Lauro, she got him to represent. That's Trump's lawyer who stood up at the hearing. He will comply. Will keep him, on the straight and narrow, so to speak. And he gets off it so quickly. She can. One thing she can do is call Lauro to the carpet and tell him he better muzzle his client. So it's just, I don't think Trump calibrates or calculates perfectly. I think in general, we way overcredit his thoughtfulness, strategy, and the like. But he comes out a couple days after her stern admonition with a strong, but not the strongest kind of allegation of bias. It's certainly improper. It certainly risks inflaming supporters. It certainly risks polluting the jury pool. It's certainly wrong, and it's certainly asking for it. But he's going to be asking for it continually over the next many months, perhaps. And she, I'm sure, is consulting with her colleagues and thinking about the long game. If and when she really brings down the hammer, maybe even at each juncture when she raises the stakes, for example, enters a gag order, would be a big raising of stakes. She'll be in touch with her colleagues, be very circumspect, will be very careful to look judicious, thoughtful, not reactive to Trump's jackass side, which is, very much in display. So here we have it. The, chicken game continues. Just a couple days after, he calls her that, she wants me behind bars. That's a very serious charge to make about a judge. And it's completely improper for a criminal defendant. How will she respond? Maybe she, on this one, takes a deep breath and waits for the next one, or does she want to nip it in the bud? We will see. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.